What's it called, us?
Just doing what I'm paid to do.
You're not paid to wash the dishes, are you?
Good morning. How long has it been since I spoke to you last? Too long. Too long. So this morning we've got a little bit of hashtag on the cards. Doing a Zwift race, but I'm slowly starting to think about what I'm gonna do the next couple of months / weeks. Planning out my own training and trying to think up some fun and meaningful targets for, I guess, what you'd call the off season. Would we even call it an off season anymore? But yeah, we're doing a race this morning as part of the DBR Saturday League. I think it's gonna take about an hour and a half, but I want to accumulate around about 150 TSS today. Next week I've planned in like a proper week of riding, so the last week has just been a bit of a transition for me. After, finishing what was the hill climb season and hill climb series, the last week has also been a little bit busy from the coaching side of things and the sponsorship side of things, and a couple of other things that I'll be able to I'll be able to update you on in due course. Next phase of training, or next phase of my cycling, because I know you'd like to enjoy following along what I do with my cycling life, and Charlie as well to a certain extent. The next couple of weeks / months next couple of days I'm going to be kind of finalising where I want to go and where I want to be when it comes to like February time. Now, a couple of years ago, obviously I would have been trying to get myself ready for a road racing season that started in March. Now, because road racing isn't now my number one kind of priority, even though I'd still like to race, a couple of local road races or, road races anywhere in the UK, because it's still something that I enjoy and can excel at, it won't necessarily be my, number one priority now. So, obviously the hill climbing doesn't come till later in the year, but I still want to be in great shape to be able to climb hills as fast, but maybe not as fast as, late summer, autumn, because that's that kind of extra 1 or 2% where, I really want to take myself to that next level. So I want to get somewhere around that ballpark in February, March time, but I am going to go back to trying something a little bit different this winter. And one of those things is working on my aerobic efficiency and muscular endurance, because next year I might be doing a couple of things whereby I will be riding for a lot longer. Have you got any plans for next year? I know it's a little bit it's a touchy subject at the minute because we don't know what's happening, but if you do have any plans, let me know. And I know a lot of you want me to do the Everesting record, or at least have a stab at Everesting. Don't worry, that is one of the things I have down on my list of things to do next year. Okay, this segment of the video, this clip of the video is filmed later on in the day, but I'm gonna put it halfway through the video because it just fits better for what I wanted to talk about, which is my plans for this next kind of phase of my cycling, and then what's going to come up next year, and some ideas that I've already written down, or at least spent most of the day writing down. So I know a lot of you that follow me on Strava and you follow me on YouTube as well. You get to see you get to see the full story basically. So you see a video of me out training, or you see a video of what's going on, but then you actually see the training on a day-by-day basis that I do out on the road. And the next 8 weeks is what I'm going to dedicate towards a base building phase. And it won't be a base build that we have always known to be, just going out and doing long, slow miles and going for hours and hours. It won't be that necessarily. The aim is still very much the same, and that's to obviously, improve my endurance and get better at being able to ride at a higher power output but below lactic threshold for a long period of time. But we're going to go about it a different way, rather than kind of the usual standard long, slow miles. So my primary goal for this period, and this period might not start until I feel like I'm ready to start it. It might start, this week. It might start in 2 weeks' time. And that's kind of what you'll see later in this video when I talk about time in zone for this ride that I did today in this video. It was all about just getting back into the routine of riding for over an hour and a half, so hour and a half to 3 hours, where I'm just accumulating time in zones 1, 2 and 3, because as again most people know, I ride on Zwift, I race on Zwift, and therefore that kind of covers a little bit of intensity for the week. And even though I'm racing on Zwift regularly now, doing the Zwift Racing League, and that kind of ranks quite highly in priorities as we speak, it doesn't necessarily drive my training. So I just kind of work it in around everything else. It's built using an array of like zone 2, and for me I'm going to use like tempo and then eventually sweet spot training, which is kind of like a little bit like you'd consider the old style training for base training. But I'm not going to neglect the high intensity because I still want to include that, and Zwift allows me to include that very easily. I just won't include it as structured intervals. Again, I'll include it as time in zone. So in order to gauge how my body's responding to this, I'm not going to just set myself a goal of, by February I want to be able to ride 200k without a problem. I'm going to actually set like some specific goals. Like I want to do 4 hours. Here's a gold standard actually that I read in a Training Peaks article about Will Barter, who went from under 23 and he stepped up to a World Tour team. And what they kind of recognized between him and his coach, and they wrote a Training Peaks article on it, was that the gold standard for that kind of level of rider was 4 watts per kilo for 4 hours with a less than 5% decoupling in heart rate and power. So what that means is, as you fatigue and obviously as you stress and dehydrate and everything else that happens through continuous exercise, when you start to go for a longer period of time at the same intensity, that's part of this experiment, heart rate starts to drift, and that's kind of like a normal response. But the trick is to have a less than 5% decoupling basically. So I'm going to use that as part of my little test, because some of the things I'm going to do next year, which I'll get onto in a second, may require this sort of aerobic conditioning, and I've never done it before, so that's something else that is intriguing me, and it's always nice to have something new that I've never done before, even though I probably have, but never kind of measured it or consciously thought about targeting it. So testing won't be as important, so like the usual testing protocols won't be as important. My testing will now kind of go down that weird route of doing like 1 hour at 75% of FTP on Zwift, for example, and just measuring that decoupling, increasing it to 2 hours, so on and so forth. I won't do anywhere near 4 hours of that kind of testing for a while, not at least for 8 to 10 weeks, but it gives you an idea of something that we may be targeting over the winter that you might like to, join in with in some way. I'm talking about doing some Zwift rides that we can all get involved in, because I know England's going into lockdown for the next 4 weeks as well. So key workouts will be aerobic endurance and muscular force. Muscular force being, your kind of casual torque intervals, but also some high cadence intervals as well. Well, again, that's the secondary workouts. Primary, secondary being the leg speed work, and kind of try on that, because I've never actually done that either, ever actually, leg speed work. So that's something I'm going to focus on over the next 8 to 10 weeks as well. So yeah, as far as next year goes, and I'm going to make this really quick now because I don't want you to like miss the rest of the video, because this segment of the video is already gone on too long. But I put it out there on Instagram stories. Like, if you need to follow me on Instagram, by the way, because it's a lot easier to do these sort of things, believe you me, on Instagram. So I put a post out on Instagram stories. I've got some riding plans for 2021. What's your suggestions though? And a couple of you have come back with some interesting ones. I am getting a gravel bike soon, courtesy of Tifosi. Thank you guys. I really appreciate your help. It'll be on loan, the bike, so it won't be mine to keep. And a hill climbing bike as well. So we'll be able to do kind of 2 or possibly 3 different disciplines, because we'll actually have a designated road bike and a designated hill climb bike. A tap to toe ride. So there's loads. There's like loads of like comments. Well, there's not loads. I'm not that like famous. You know what I'm saying? 100 mile TT. I want to do that. I want to do some like non-aero time trials. Do the afterwards hill climb. Yes, like I had that down for this year. The singles challenge record breaker. That's 3 times up Mont Ventoux. But there is a 4th way, but it's gravel, so I might have to have a bike change for that one. Ride the whole Wales coastline. Length of Wales in a day. There's all these ideas, and if you leave yours down below, I will definitely make a note of them, because even if I don't get around to doing them next year because of anything, you know, it could happen. And then of course, performance wise, like I want to get as close as I can to 7 watts per kilo for 20 minutes. I know that sounds stupid. I know it sounds rough as, and I know a lot of you are going to say like, nobody's ever done it, or in all seriousness, like I think it's possible. I honestly think it's possible, or at least, you know, as close as I can get to it. So that's a big goal for next year. A lot of you have seen my recent attempt to try and hold 7 watts per kilo for like 13-14 minutes on Zwift. It's a lot different to doing it outside, granted, but I had a good go and I did about 7 minutes. So, you know, there's a lot to work on and there's a lot to get my teeth into, and that's what I'm excited about. So yeah. Anyway, gonna end this segment now because I've been talking for too long. At least I don't have to edit it, because I've been pretty much talking flat out for the last 11 and a half minutes. So anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. I appreciate you watching this far. If you have, thumbs up, comment down below what you think I should do. Doesn't matter if it's performance based, can be fun, it can be coming for a ride somewhere. Whatever it is, I'll make a note of it, I promise. So anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the video. I'll see you soon. That was a great race finish. Gus did a tremendous ride as well, finishing like 16th in the second group on the road. I'm digesting a white chocolate and honeycomb cookie. Prime time to eat something like that is directly after a hard effort or race. Not least because, you know, I've obviously burnt a ton of calories, but also my body's like, give me something, give me something. Took down half the Saracen Pros Closet team in that sprint. Oh, it's mucky outside. Charlie's on the bike now. She's going up Watopia Mountain for the first time ever. We'll get her thoughts on it now in a second. We've hidden her power from the side of the screen, so we've like just draped a cloth cap over the corner so that she can't see what power she's doing, to see if, I don't know, maybe she surprises herself and puts more power out than her PB. But yeah, I've never been up Watopia Mountain, and she's on 100% training difficulty. Charlie's ride.
Can take that off of there now.
This was like, she was part of a group ride here, then she peeled off, and then she started the climb of the Watopia Mountain, and that was down the descent off the Watopia Mountain. Put a good block of effort in there with 100% training difficulty, and the critical power shows some new PBs. She's got new best like 45 to 1 hour power. and also a new best sprint power. I know the power curve's a little bit off because Zwift is doing Zwift. So, how did you find it, Charles? You did Utopia Mountain for the first time. Was it hard?
It was okay. It's just weird climbing for that amount of time because I haven't done it for a long time.
It took you 35 minutes to do Utopia Mountain.
I was aiming for 30 minutes.
You didn't do the bonus though. When was the last time you did a climb that was 35 minutes long?
Oh my gosh.
Von 2?
Probably. Long time ago. 2016.
I can't believe you've done a climb that I've never done.
You're jealous.
Makes me sad. Is it Halloween tonight?
Yeah.
Well, shows how much I know. Halloween's just getting more and more real every year. Back when I was a kid, we just used to like wear a cape and say boo.
That's cute.
It's truth. That's what we did. What are we doing this evening then?
We're gonna hopefully do like a watch party with our friends on Zoom or like Netflix or something.
Yeah, I've never done that before, where you watch a film with somebody at the same time. I don't even know how it works.
Yeah.
Why do I feel so old?
I don't know how it works. I've never done that. And we're either going to watch Labyrinth or Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Labyrinth or Rocky Horror Picture Show. Some of you will probably know those.
I think we should watch Rocky Horror because you've never seen it.
I've seen Labyrinth. We have goodies. What's
They're for the kids. Like if they were coming around to trick or treat, but I don't think
there's no kids coming around to trick or treat. It's cancelled. Halloween's cancelled in Wales. It's not happening. What else have we got? What's the other one?
What sweets wise? Chewy sweets.
Oh.
I went for stuff that was individually wrapped.
Yeah, swizzle sweets. Ooh. Oof. That burns. We got a lot of work to do. But it's a whole lot of fun. We started from the bottom now here. My word, it's windy out here today, fam. It's very windy out here today. I've just cracked sunrise. It's 7:15 in the morning. I thought I'd get out early on this Sunday morning. For some weird reason, it always feels better. But at the top of the mountain, it's gonna be pretty howly. It's probably been almost a week since I've been outside on the bike, and I mean, I've missed it, and now's the time when I will be starting to go back on the bike more, at least for my longer rides, and today's one of them. So we're in between valleys at the minute. I'm only 37 minutes into the ride. Probably going to take me about 2.5 to 3 hours this ride. I've already climbed 460 meters in 37 minutes, and the reason why I've picked a fairly hilly route, or at least I think it's going to be 1600 meters of climbing, it's mainly because as I'm starting to get back into kind of longer riding, particularly outside, and trying to focus mainly on aerobic conditioning. For the most part, you know, still a little bit of intensity. But this ride, I'm using the climbs to force me into like upper zone 2, you know, kind of lower zone 3, right at that borderline maybe. I'm not too worried about wattages because at the end of the day you can get a little bit bogged down in them, and this time of the year you don't really want to be doing that. I feel you kind of want to be, you know, for these rides, just going out and enjoying the bike, and I'm enjoying this road right now. It's very autumnal, but so yeah, you know, this ride is going to be kind of probably an equal split of zone 1, 2 and 3. Well, maybe not so much in zone 3, but zone 1 and zone 2, and it's kind of just getting that timing zone back, you know, not stressing about, you know, doing 4 by 20-minute blocks at borderline lower zone 3. You know, a lot of that will come later, but for now, just focusing on timing zone in a fun and accumulative way. Yeah, so this is the wonderful view, and this is also, for those of you that don't know, this is what altitude training looks like where I come from. Weirdly, it's like not raining here, but it was raining like at lower altitude, but not that much lower, like maybe 50 meters lower. A little bit weird. Anyway, some wind turbines, I don't know if you can even see them over there. Visibility is not that great. This is the highest point of the whole ride. I've done 850 meters of climbing in 1 hour and 5. Like, yeah, hardly, like I said, zone 2, zone 3, majority of it. And then taking it easy on descents. I have to anyway, because the descents are pretty sketchy, and we've got a nice one now down into Armandford, which is much like an alpine descent. But I feel alright. But I'm only an hour in, so we'll see how it goes. Fun fact, I need to clean my bike using a kettle. Well, not so much clean it, but just swill all the muck off. The joys. Morning.
Hi. Why do you always film me when I'm looking at my scruffiest?
Not scruffy.
Pretty scruffy.
It's called
Real life.
leisure. What do you think of these glasses, Rob?
I feel like though it would restrict your movement when you would turn in your head to, well, I find that anyway with glasses.
Got a bit of an announcement to make. RE glasses soon. Sunglasses, so stay tuned. I've got chocolate cake in my face.
Yeah.
Have I?
No.
Going to win this way.
It's the Angliru stage.
We will see in about
on our tiny screen.
Plus time.
Does job.
Well,
it is a hard climb, and my safety as well, so once we will try. Do you feel that you can drop all the GC riders?
I'd definitely like to do the Angliru one day, by the way. North of Spain. Yes, count me in. Will be heck of a fight to get in the breakaway today, by the looks of it. Some riders will be bricking it, other riders will be like, I need to get as much time as possible before they hit it, because 45 minutes for the fastest rider. It's going to be a long old day for the slowest rider.
yesterday, he wants those back, and he'd like, quite frankly, as well. I think he lost 11 seconds yesterday.
Oh my word, he's got a gap as well now. It's like 5 seconds. He's got 1.2 to go. Oh, he's got heck of a gap now. Flipping neck. He's gone in the bring ring, is he? I think he has. Oh my word. Flipping neck. Stop focusing on Dan Mark. I want to see more of him. Oh, it's just painful to watch. Like, Sepp Kuss is just right in zone 3 next to Roglic. Oh, Hugh's got 950 metres to go. Oh, there's the face.
Come on, Hugh!
Tom's going to be Tom Sullivan's going to be shouting at the screen.
Come on, you!
As well in the blue, and Carapaz digging into that gap as well. Oh, it's not over for Primoz Roglic either in terms of the gap. He's not going to take the stage, however. Now watch the percentage suddenly disappear here, dissipate for Hugh Carthy. He's reached the crest, and now he's going to have this sooner down.
He's only 58 seconds down on GC as well, so.
Very much he's going to get there. We can see Enric Mas is pushing on there, but Hugh Carthy looking very impressive. We see when he made the gear change, he just home, shall we? 200 metres to go.
Come on, Hugh.
Absolutely magnificent.
To see Hugh win when I've raced on the same team as him, and
And he looks like he's already getting the roar ready. This is fabulous. Hugh the Mighty hits the line first. And
what's the time gap though? Because he absolutely demolished him.